Let us continue ionic equilibrium. In ionic equilibrium, we are discussing about acid-base indicators. Now we will take a different acid-base indicators. First one we will take a methyl orange indicator. We are taking different acid-base indicators. First one we are taking methyl orange. Methyl orange indicator. This methyl orange indicator will give two colors. One color is red, another color is yellow. So this methyl orange indicator will give red color up to which pH, in the sense up to 3.1 pH, and yellow color from which pH onwards, in the sense 4.4. Okay, so this color is in acid form, we can say. This color is in a basic form, we can say. Basic form. This pH, we can say that pH of acid form, we can say. pH of acid form. pH of acid form. This pH we can say pH of base form. pH of base form we can say. So this is pH of base form, pH of acid form, basic form color, acidic form color. Indicator is methyl orange. Okay. Generally, acid in the sense pH is less than 7. Okay, here. Base in the sense pH is greater than 7, no, but 4.4, no. Like this we should not see. That means acid means pH is less than 7, base means pH is greater than 7. That point we should not bring here. That acidic form, in the sense this form will donate H plus. Basic form, in the sense this form will take H plus. That is the mean. Okay. So this color, this distinguished color is possible up to which pH? That is this one. This distinguished color is possible from which pH onwards? That is this one. That's what it indicates. Okay, so don't think that base in the sense pH is greater than 7 in the case of indicators. Sorry. Next indicator will take methyl red. Methyl red is acid base indicator. For this methyl red, acid form is what, in the sense red. Basic form is what, in the sense yellow. pH of acid form is 4.2. pH of basic form is 6.3. Next we will take litmus. We will take indicator litmus. Acid form color is red. Basic form color is blue. pH of acid form is 4.5. pH of basic form is 8.3. Next indicator bromothymol blue. Next one is bromothymol blue. Bromothymol blue. For this acid form color is what, in the sense yellow. Base form color is what, in the sense blue. Then pH of acid form is how much, in the sense 6. pH of base form how much, in the sense 7.6. Next, phenolphthalein is the indicator. Phenolphthalein. For that acid form is colorless. Basic form is pink. pH of acid form is 8.3. pH of basic form is 10. Next indicator malachite green. Malachite green. This acid form is green. Basic form is colorless. pH of acid form is 11.4. pH of basic form is 30. These are acid base indicators, we can say. So acid base indicators, some types we have seen. Still many acid base indicators are available. Okay. Next we will go for titration. Next we are going for titration. We'll take. Now we are going for titration. Okay. Titration in the sense we have to take burette and we have to take pipette. So we have to take burette solution, pipette solution, like this we have to take. So now suppose burette is what in the sense strong acid. Pipette is a strong base. In the burette, using burette we are taking strong acid. Using pipette we are taking strong base. Then it is called strong acid versus strong base titration. Strong acid versus strong base titration we can say. Now example we will take. Strong acid is what in the sense HCl. This HCl concentration how much we are taking in the sense 0.1 molar. What volume we are taking in the sense, for example 50 cc we are taking. Then this is titrated against what in the sense strong base. What is a strong base means sodium hydroxide. This concentration how much in the sense 0.1 molar. Why we have taken concentration of both? What is the use of titration? One concentration will be given, another concentration we have to find. That is called titration. But in this case we have taken concentration of strong acid as well as strong base. Why we have taken like this? Because why we have taken concentration of both in the sense we want to know which indicator, which acid base indicator is suitable for this titration. So for this titration, which acid base indicator is suitable, that we have to see. That acid base indicator we have to, which acid base indicator we want to take, that we want to understand. For that case we have taken concentration of both. Okay, sir. So first we will take conical flask. In conical flask what we are taking in the sense okay, here 50 cc is mentioned, therefore we will take this one in conical flask. Okay, so this we are taking in the conical flask solution. Then we will take it is burette solution. This we will take burette solution. So first initially what is in the from burette only we have to add sodium hydroxide into this. From burette we have to add this solution drop by drop into this conical flask. Okay, so how we are taking this, that point we will see. Now see that this is a burette. In this burette only we have to take sodium hydroxide solution. In this conical flask only we are taking HCl solution. In this burette we are taking sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, so in this burette what we are taking in the sense sodium hydroxide solution we are taking in this burette. In this conical flask what we are taking in the sense HCl solution we are taking in this conical flask. Okay, HCl solution you take, this is colorless. Here you take sodium hydroxide solution, it is also colorless. Then this knob is there, no, this knob, using this knob we can make this sodium hydroxide solution to flow into this conical flask. Using this knob you are making this burette solution to flow into this conical flask. Okay, sorry. So in the burette solution we have taken sodium hydroxide, conical flask we have taken HCl solution. Now first we will take we have added a 0 ml of sodium hydroxide into the conical flask. So what volume of sodium hydroxide we added in the sense 0 ml we added. Now what is the pH of conical flask solution, that we will see. What is the pH of conical flask solution? Okay, so in the conical flask what is there? HCl solution is there. In the conical flask what is there means HCl solution is there. That HCl solution concentration is how much in the sense 0.1 molar. Therefore this is dissociating completely, therefore it is equal to concentration of H plus. This we will substitute in pH formula. pH is equal to minus log of H plus. So substitute this 10 power minus 1 into this place. we will get pH, that is how much in the sense pH is 1. Okay, so we got a pH of solution, that is how much in the sense 1, pH of solution is 1. Okay, so next we will add sodium hydroxide solution. Now let us add sodium hydroxide solution. How much in the sense, just 1 drop, add it, then shake it well, then again add 1 drop, shake it well. Like this, adjust the burette knob such that sodium hydroxide solution falls into conical flask drop by drop. Okay, so sodium hydroxide solution continuously falling into this. What is happening? This sodium hydroxide reacting with which one? HCl. Okay, sodium hydroxide reacting with HCl. What is the reaction? Sodium hydroxide reacting with HCl to give sodium chloride and water. Okay, sodium hydroxide reacting with HCl to give sodium chloride and water. Because of this, what happens to the concentration of HCl? What happens to the number of moles of HCl? Getting reduced. Okay, due to addition of sodium hydroxide, HCl is HCl number of moles getting reduced. Therefore, concentration of HCl getting reduced. So, what will happen to the pH of solution in the conical flask? In the conical flask, what will happen to the pH of solution? Will it change or not? Changing means decreasing or increasing? Okay, we will check it. Okay, suppose we added 10 ml of sodium hydroxide, we will take. While what is the pH of solution in the conical flask, that we will see. Okay, initially in the conical flask, what you have taken? 50 cc of 0.1 molar HCl you have taken. Now, how much at this stage? At this stage, how much totally we added? 10 ml of sodium hydroxide solution. Totally we added drop by drop. Okay, sir. Now what is the pH of solution in the conical flask? That we want to find it. Sir, how to find? We'll see. So in the conical flask, what you have taken initially in the sense 50 cc of 50 cc of 0.1 molar HCl you have taken. Let us multiply these two. If you multiply these two, what you will get means millimoles of HCl initial. So millimoles of HCl is how much? Means 5 millimoles. Okay. How much sodium hydroxide we added? 10 cc of 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide we added. Okay. So 10 cc into 0.1 molar you multiply, that you will get millimoles of sodium hydroxide added you will get. Okay. So sodium hydroxide we added this many millimoles till now. HCl we took initially 5 millimole. Now reaction takes place. Sodium hydroxide reacts completely, remaining is 0. HCl reacts 1 millimole, therefore remaining is 4 millimole. 4 millimole will be there. Now, what is the volume of resultant solution? That we will see. Volume of resultant solution is how much? 50 cc of HCl we have taken initially in the conical flask. Then 10 cc of sodium hydroxide we added. So totally 60 cc. Totally how much means 60 cc is the volume of resultant solution. In the resultant solution, what is there means HCl is remaining. Therefore, a concentration of HCl in the resultant solution we'll see. So how many millimoles of HCl remaining in the resultant solution? 4 millimole. What is the volume of resultant solution? 60 cc. Okay, here 4 millimole is remaining. Volume is 60 cc. Now we will simplify this one. We will get a concentration of HCl, which is equal to concentration of H plus. From this, we will find pH. pH is equal to 1.18. Okay, we got pH. pH is how much means 1.18. Now see that what happened to the pH? You see that we added sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide consumes HCl. Therefore, concentration of HCl decreased. Due to decrease of HCl concentration, what happened to the pH? pH is increased. Okay, continue adding burette solution into HCl drop by drop. Okay, now we reached what value in the sense 20 ml of sodium hydroxide is added. 20 ml of sodium hydroxide is added. That point we have reached. Now we will find the pH of the solution. Okay, in the same manner we can find the pH of the solution, how much we are getting in the sense this much. Next, continue addition of sodium hydroxide. Suppose we have reached 30 ml. Now we will see the pH of solution. Okay, 1.6. Continue addition of sodium hydroxide. Okay, we have added 40 ml. pH of solution is 1.95. pH of solution this much. Continue addition. So we are adding continuously. Now pH of solution is how much in the sense 2.99. Okay. So we are adding continuously sodium hydroxide. So how much, what volume we have came in the sense so and so volume added. pH of solution is 4. Then we are adding this much we are adding. So pH of solution is this much. Now we added some more amount, so total added is this much. pH of solution is so and so. We are adding some more amount we are adding, so total amount added is this much. pH of solution is so and so. Now we are adding some more, so total added is this much. Now what is the pH of solution, we'll see. Okay, now totally how much sodium hydroxide added? 50 ml we added totally. Okay, not from year to year, from starting to this place, totally 50 ml of sodium hydroxide solution we added. Now what is the pH of resultant solution, that we have to find. Okay, sir. Now sodium hydroxide we are taking, that we are adding into HCl. We are getting what in the sense NaCl and water. Initially in the conical flask 50 cc of HCl we have taken 0.1 molar, we are multiplying both, we are getting millimoles. So how much means 5 millimoles of HCl. Sodium hydroxide, how much we added in the sense 50 cc of sodium hydroxide added up to now. This concentration is how much in the sense 0.1 molar. Now, so up to now, how many millimoles of sodium hydroxide added in the sense 5 millimoles of sodium hydroxide we added. So both are equal amount, both react 5. Therefore, remaining sodium hydroxide is 0. HCl reacting 5 millimoles, remaining is 0. So now both sodium hydroxide HCl consumed completely. Nothing is remaining. Sodium hydroxide is not remaining, HCl is not remaining. Nothing is remaining in the sense in the resultant solution, HCl is not there, sodium hydroxide is not there. Therefore, resultant solution is what? Neutral. Therefore, resultant solution is neutral. So, is salt hydrolysis possible or not? That we will see. Here, salt is sodium chloride. In the sodium chloride salt, cation is from strong base, so it is not undergoing hydrolysis. Cl minus anion is from strong acid, so it is also not undergoing hydrolysis. Therefore, salt hydrolysis is not possible. Therefore, the resultant solution is neutral. For neutral, what is a pH? You see that pH of neutral solution is how much in the sense 7 we can say. So pH of neutral solution is 7. Therefore, now what is the pH in the sense we can say pH is 7. pH of solution is how much in the sense we can say 7 we can say 7. Let us further add sodium hydroxide. We are adding sodium hydroxide further. Okay. So now we have reached 50.1 ml. We have reached 50.1 ml. Now what is the pH of resultant solution, that we will see. Okay. So now we are going for a sodium hydroxide added into HCl. Therefore, we are getting sodium chloride and water. Okay. So initially, what is the what value of HCl we have taken in the sense 50 cc of HCl solution we have taken, that concentration is 0.1 molar. So how much HCl we have taken initially, that means starting time, that means how much in the sense 5 millimole we have taken. So far, how much sodium hydroxide we added? So far, how much sodium hydroxide we added in the sense 50.1 cc we have added. Sodium hydroxide concentration, what in the sense 0.1 molar. Now let us multiply these two. We will get sodium hydroxide number of millimoles we will get. So we are getting sodium hydroxide number of millimoles we are getting. Okay. So what is the sodium hydroxide millimoles, that we will see. Sodium hydroxide millimoles in the sense we are writing this 501. So how much in the sense this many millimoles. This many millimoles of sodium hydroxide we are getting. Okay, we have added. So how much HCl will react in the sense 5, remaining is 0. How much sodium hydroxide is reacting means 5, remaining is 0.01 millimole. Okay, so sodium hydroxide how much in the sense 0.01 millimole is there. Now we'll see volume of resultant solution. We'll see volume of resultant solution. Initially in the conical flask 50 cc of HCl we have taken. So far we have added sodium hydroxide 50.1 cc. Therefore totally what is the volume of resultant solution means 100.1 cc. Okay. Now in the resultant solution what is there means sodium hydroxide is there. HCl is not there. That means we have crossed the equivalence point. What is meant by equivalence point? Equivalence point means at that point reaction will be completely over. Completely over, we said. Okay. That means here HCl is not there. We have taken in the conical flask HCl. Now HCl not remaining in the sense reaction is over. Okay. That means we have added sodium hydroxide excess. Sodium hydroxide excess we have added. So in the resultant solution, excess sodium hydroxide is present. That concentration we will find, that is how many millimoles present, means 0.01 millimole is present. What volume? In the sense 100.1 ml. Okay, it is a volume of resultant solution. So from this we can find sodium hydroxide concentration. This sodium hydroxide concentration gives a OH minus concentration. If you know OH minus concentration, from this we can find a POH we can find because POH is equal to minus log of OH minus. So substitute this OH minus concentration, we will get POH. If you know POH, then we can find a pH. How? In the sense pH plus POH is equal to 14 at 25 degrees Celsius. Therefore, substitute POH, you will get pH. Okay. So pH of this solution, we have got it. Okay. What is the pH of this solution? That we will see. pH of this solution is how much? In the sense so and so. It is the pH of solution. Okay, let us add some more amount of sodium hydroxide. So far, how much we added? In the sense 51 ml. Now corresponding pH we will see. Corresponding pH is this much. Continue addition of sodium hydroxide. Though equivalence point is reached, the pH is how much? In the sense this much. So we are continuing addition of sodium hydroxide. The pH we are getting this much. Okay, sir. So now we have seen the titration. So at every point, what is the pH of solution? That we have found it. Okay. Now for what sake we have found the pH at every point? In the sense which indicator is suitable for this titration, we want to know it. For that case only. Okay. So which indicator is suitable? Which acid base indicator we can use for this titration? That we want to say. For that case only we have done like this. Sir. Now here you see that now we will study this result. We will study here 10 ml we added 10 ml of sodium hydroxide we added here. What is the rise in pH? You see 0.18. Here 10 ml we added. What is the rise in pH? You see roughly 0.2. Okay. Here 10 ml we added. Here what is the rise in pH? You see roughly 0.3. Here 10 ml we added. What is the rise in pH? You see roughly 0.35 here. Okay. So from year to year we are adding 10 ml. How much pH is increasing? Means 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, like this only rising. Correct? Okay. Next we are either sorry, okay, like this. Next here we added 9 ml. In this step we added 9 ml. Okay. So how much pH is rising? You see nearly 1. Why nearly 1? You think? Now we will see this place. At this place we added a sodium hydroxide 50 ml. We said reaction is completely over and salt also not undergoing hydrolysis. Therefore resultant solution is not containing either HCl or sodium hydroxide. So resultant solution is neutral, we said. So pH is 7. So this point is called what? Equivalence point. This point is called a equivalence point, we can say. Equivalence point means at that point reaction is exactly over, nothing is remaining. Okay, sir, this is equivalence point. Now here in this step we said rise is 1, we said. Now this step to this step, you see how much we added? You see 0.9 ml. 0.9 ml means roughly 1 ml. 1 ml means how many drops will come now in the burette? 2 drops, otherwise 3 drops. That's all. 2 drops, otherwise 3 drops. Okay. So we added 0.9 ml. So what is the pH rise? You see here 2.99, here 4. How much rise? Exactly how much rise? You see that. That means shall we say rise is 1? Shall we say rise is 1? Here we are adding 9 ml, rise is 1. But here we are adding just 0.9 ml, that means just 1 ml, rise is 1. But in these places and all, 10 ml we are adding, rice is just 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 like this only. So next you see here, this step to this step we will see how much we are adding. See 0.09 ml, 0.09 ml we are adding. How much pH rise? 1. 0.09 ml means what? It is a 1/10 part of 1 ml, like this only, no? For that 1/10 part of 1 ml means 1 ml itself 2 drops, otherwise 3 drops. 1/10 part of 1 drop in the 1/10 part of 1 ml, in the sense how many drops you think it? Will it be 1 drop? No, less than that. For that pH rise is 1. Next you see how much we added. See 0.009 ml. We cannot say even drop also we cannot say. For that pH rise is 1. Here how much we have added? See 0.0009 ml. pH rise is roughly 1. Okay, here what is the pH? The pH is attaining 7. So at equivalence point, what is the pH in the sense 7 we can say. That means from year to year, in this one every stage, that means 10 ml 10 ml pH rise is much less, but year onwards how the pH is rising means that is goes on rising. Increase in pH is increasing drastically near the equivalence point. But when the point is somewhat away from equivalence point, pH rise is not drastic. Near the equivalence point, pH rising drastically. Okay, so near the equivalence point, pH is rising drastically. Okay, then that means we are crossing the equivalence point now. Okay, so how much we added here? See 0.1 ml. 0.1 ml means what? 1/10 of 1 ml. 1/10 of 1 ml we are adding. 1/10 of 1 ml means it is not 1/10 of 1 ml we are adding here. Therefore 1/10 of 1 ml we are adding, in the sense how much pH rise you see that here? 0.9, that means nearly 3. Here we are adding some more, so pH rise you see here. That means here equivalence point we have crossed. We have crossed the equivalence point. On crossing the equivalence point, how much pH is changing you see. On crossing the equivalence point, pH changes drastically, shall we say here. That means from year to year you take 1 ml. How much pH increase? See 4. Now 1 ml. Here how much increase? Just 0.3 or 0.4. Just 0.3. Here 1 ml. Just how much? 0.2. So near the equivalence point, pH changes drastically. After the equivalence point, if the point is going away from equivalence point, then pH changes small, isn't it? Sir, okay. So how the pH changes in the titration, we got an idea. Now, which acid base indicator is suitable for this titration, that we have to see. Okay. Now, why we have to use acid base indicator? Why we have to use indicator? That indicator will indicate the equivalence point. For that sake only we are using acid base indicator. What is the necessity of acid base indicator? Otherwise, how to know equivalence point is reached or not? Why we are unable to know equivalence point reached or not? Because all the solutions are colorless solutions. That means here sodium hydroxide solution is colorless, HCl solution is colorless, sodium chloride solution is colorless. Then how to know at which point we have got equivalence point? If we find pH at every point, then we can say, okay, this point is called equivalence point because reaction is over. If you do not find pH, simply you are taking burette and pipette and conical flask and you are going on adding and doing titration. Then we want indicator, no. Therefore, which indicator is suitable for this titration, that we will see. Okay, first we will take one indicator called phenolphthalein indicator. We will take that phenolphthalein indicator pH range. We will see pH range of phenolphthalein indicator, that we will take. Okay, so Now we are taking which indicator in the sense phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein indicator we are taking. This indicator is having pH range is 8.3 to 10. Up to 8.3, this indicator is colorless. This indicator is colorless. From 10 onwards, this indicator exhibit pink color. Okay, so we have taken phenolphthalein indicator. For this pH range is 8.3 to 10. Up to 8.3, this indicator will give colorless. From 10 onwards, this indicator will show pink color. Okay, now we will take this phenolphthalein indicator. Let us add phenolphthalein indicator into which place in the sense to the conical flask. To the conical flask, we are adding phenolphthalein indicator. Now, what is the pH? You see, pH of conical flask solution is 1. Now, phenolphthalein indicator will give which color? Colorless. So, in conical flask, solution will appear what? Colorless. Okay. Now, we will go to this place. Okay. pH is 1.18. Now, conical flask solution will appear colorless. We will go to this place. Now, also conical flask solution is colorless. Here, colorless. Here, colorless. This place you see, conical flask solution will appear which color? Colorless only. Then here, colorless. Here you see. Here also you think it. Here also you think it. Here also you think it. Shall we say colorless? So we have reached equivalence point. We have reached equivalence point. Even now, colorless only. Even now, colorless only. So phenolphthalein has given which color in the sense starting point colorless till the equivalence point colorless only. Now from year to year we are going. What will happen? What is the conical flask solution? In the conical flask solution is there. That solution will exhibit which color do you think? For that case, we'll see the pH range of indicator that you see. Phenolphthalein pH range is 8.3 to 10. Up to 8.3, phenolphthalein will exhibit colorless, unionized form color. From 10 onwards, it will appear pink. From 10 onwards, it will appear pink. Okay. Now, you say that at this place, conical flask solution will appear light pink or not, you think? Light pink or not? Then here, pink color will be there, no? Here pink color will be there, no? Yes or no? Here pink color will be there. Here pink color. Here also pink color. That means this phenolphthalein gives a colorless up to this equivalence point. Up to this equivalence point, colorless only. Up to this equivalence point, colorless only. From year to year, what happened means light pink color appears. So from year to year, light pink color appears. What is the difference? 0.1 ml only. So we are getting a light pink color. We are getting what? A light pink color we are getting. Okay. So we got a light pink color we got. Therefore, light pink color we got in the sense showing that change in color, no? Up to this colorless, here light pink color we are getting. That means, so phenolphthalein indicates equivalence point by showing color change or end point by showing color change, you think. End point means what? Which is closer to equivalence point. Now, phenolphthalein indicates end point, shall we say, by showing change in color? Yes. So phenolphthalein indicates a end point. Okay. So using phenolphthalein indicator, we can find a end point for this titration. For this titration, we can find end point, we can say. Okay. So that means we can use phenolphthalein indicator for strong acid versus strong base titration for finding what in the sense end point we can say. Okay. Shall we will see some other indicators. Can we use some other indicators or not? That we will see. Now we will take another indicator. What is that in the sense? Methyl orange we will take. For methyl orange, what is the pH range in the sense 3.1 to 4.4. Okay, up to 3.1 methyl orange indicator will give red color. From 4.4 onwards it will give yellow color. It will give yellow color. It is a methyl orange indicator role. Okay, so methyl orange indicator in the sense up to 3.1 pH it will give red color. From 4.4 onwards it will give yellow color. Okay, so let us add methyl orange here. What color methyl orange will give to the conical flask solution? Red color. Now red color. Now red. Here red. Here red. Here red. Okay, red. Now up to this phenolphthalein gives red color. Now we will see here yellow color. Here we will see yellow color. Here yellow. Here yellow. In here and all yellow only. Here and all yellow only. At this place what? Red and yellow mixed. Correct? Red and yellow mixed. Red and yellow mixed. Now you say equivalence point is what? 50 ml. 50 ml is the equivalence point. This methyl orange gives distinguished color. Distinguished color at where? At this place. Distinguished color. Up to this red color. Here yellow. Distinguished color yellow. What is the difference between equivalence point and this point you see? How much difference you see? Therefore, shall we use methyl orange for this titration to find n point? Because 49.99 ml, 50 ml, almost closer only now. So shall we use methyl orange indicator for finding n point for this titration? Yes. Phenolphthalein also we can use. But you see, phenolphthalein gives n point in this place. But methyl orange gives n point in this place. Therefore, this acid base indicators, these indicators we are using in the sense it is giving n point, but accuracy in the sense some inaccuracy will be there. Different indicators indicate in different manner. Phenolphthalein indicator gives n point after equivalence point. Methyl orange gives n point before equivalence point, but difference is less here. Here difference is less. Okay, sir. Therefore, we can use methyl orange indicator. We can use methyl orange indicator is suitable for this titration. For which titration in the sense for this strong acid HCl versus strong base titration, methyl orange indicator is suitable, we can say. Okay. Let us take some other indicator, some other acid base indicator we'll take. What is that in the sense? Suppose we are taking litmus. Litmus indicator will take. For this pH range is 4.5 to 8.3. Now up to 4.5 it will give red color. From 8.3 onwards blue color. From 8.3 onwards blue color. Can we use this or not? We'll see. Okay, sir. Now we will add what in the sense litmus solution we have added. This litmus solution gives what color in the sense it is giving red color here. Okay, red color is persistent. Here also red color only. So red color continues even here. Red color is continuing even this place. So here we are saying red color. In this place, what we can say in the sense red and blue mixed, we can say. Red blue mixed, we can say. Here also red blue mixed. Here red blue mixed. Here also red blue mixed. Now we can say that distinguished color is appeared. What is that means? Blue. Distinguished color is appeared here. So if you use litmus solution, it is giving red color up to this it is giving red color. Then here what happens? Red plus blue. Here what happens? Distinguished color blue. Therefore, using this litmus solution, we can go for this titration. Okay, we can use litmus solution as the indicator. Litmus solution is the suitable indicator for this. Okay, so for this titration, we can use litmus indicator, we can use phenolphthalein, we can use, then we can use Methyl orange we can use. Now I will take one, what is that means, malachite green. Now I am taking indicator, what in the sense malachite green I will take. Malachite green, for that pH range is what in the sense 11.4 to 13. Here what in the sense green, here colorless. Now you see, suppose you are adding malachite green here, what color in the sense green color will persist, even here also green color only, up to this green color only.